Hey everyone, today we're talking about becoming celebrated, beneficiary review and planning. My name is Isaiah Goodman, Chief Financial Advocate at Becoming Financial. One of the things that's commonly mistaken is that if you have a will, that supersedes everything when you pass away. But when you have a beneficiary on some sort of a contract, that actually takes precedent. So if you pass away, you have a 401k and you have the beneficiary as your ex-wife, and you have in your will that everything goes to your current wife, well, believe it or not, probate court will say that that 401k goes to the beneficiary first. So today we wanted to talk about, here's some couple tips for you to be able to manage your beneficiaries and do all of your estate planning, just to make sure that everything's taken care of and that you can become celebrated. Tip number one, set up a regular time to review and or plan for things like your beneficiaries. A cool one that I've heard in the past is daylight savings time. So if you're in a state that practices daylight savings, right at the end of the year, beginning of the year, you're gonna change with the time zones. Just review your estate planning documents. Check your 401k, check life insurance, check all of your wills and trusts, etc. Even old 401ks. This is one that can typically get overlooked. If you've changed jobs a couple times and you have a couple old 401ks sitting out there, they have a beneficiary on there as well. So you want to make sure that the beneficiary is the number one person that you want to receive those proceeds. You update that maybe every 6 months or so around daylight savings time. Another big thing too is pension accounts. When it comes to pension accounts, you might actually have to get the old beneficiary to sign off to sign up the new beneficiary. So this is common in states where a spouse has to sign off on things like beneficiary accounts. So again, if you had an ex-spouse and they were listed as a beneficiary, you might need to get their signature as a part of the divorce decree and then be able to sign up that new beneficiary for whoever you want it to be. So make sure you're checking on that at least twice a year. Next big thing, consider the bigger stuff too. So I know a lot of times people say they got a will done and that's it. You don't have to worry about it anymore. That's kind of true. But you want to make sure that you update things like the percentages. So let's say that you have 2 children, you had a will done a couple years ago, you have a third child, you forget to have that will updated and you pass away. Well, that third child isn't listed on the will. So you want to make sure that you update that stuff with life events. So not only are we updating our estate plans and stuff twice a year, we're going to make sure we update them when we have bigger life events. So things like a will, making sure you adjust the percentages, power of attorney or healthcare directive. Again, if you change relationship status, you don't want that ex-spouse to be the person who decides your healthcare. You want it to be your current person. Or even if you move. If you have a business partner and maybe you guys move to different parts of the country, make sure you're updating all of those legal documents as soon as that life event happens. Last thing here too is trust. So when you set up a trust, you typically have a trustee who's going to designate certain timing or percentages. So for example, if I passed away, I want my kids to receive money at the ages of 25 and 35 so that they don't waste it all at the ages of 18. Well, maybe as they grow and mature, I see, hey, maybe I can give them a little bit at 21 and 25 and 30. Well, you need to update those documents according to plan. And then the trustee, if you have a falling out with your trustee, maybe they're not your best friend anymore, you want to make sure you update that person so that when you do pass away, that your intentions are carried out as you intended. Last thing, this is what I call kind of just in case. One thing to consider is pro rata. So for example, if you have several children, let's say you have 4 kids, and you pass away, and you wanted each kid to receive 25% of your assets, things that you're going to pass down in your estate. Unfortunately, if one of your children might have passed away before then, typically what's going to happen is the courts would say 33, 33, 33 between the remaining 3 kids. But if you wrote in there in the life insurance policy or the 401k or even in your will, and you said pro rata, that means that that kid who passed away, maybe their 2 children will each receive 12.5%. So then it's still 25% split between their 2 children and then 25, 25, 25. Definitely work with a financial planner or an estate planning attorney to make sure you understand the legal jargon, but it's something to consider in terms of estate planning and family planning. Next thing, make sure you have a contingent beneficiary. So if something happened and your number one beneficiary and yourself are in the same event, you want to make sure you have a backup. So for example, a husband and wife, they pass away in the same event. Well, if the wife had listed the husband as a beneficiary, then who? So, you want to list your best friend or your brother, your sister, your parents, somebody as a backup, a secondary beneficiary besides just that main person. Going along with that, just making sure you update it. So as life changes and events happen, that contingent beneficiary might not be the same person it was 5 years ago. Make sure you update that stuff. Last but not least, make sure you're monitoring government benefits. So if you have somebody who has special needs or is disabled, they might be on some sort of government program. Even just financial assistance might be on some sort of a welfare program. If they get a big lump sum of money, that might mess up their benefits. And this could be really detrimental for somebody with special needs or disability like blindness, because sure, they have this bucket of money, but they've never been empowered to be able to use it, right? They've been set up on a certain system. So you want to put those things into trust with the trustee to make sure they can manage it and that money doesn't go into that person's name and mess up any sort of government benefits. One last bonus kind of idea that I had here was if you have any sort of change in a company name or adjustment in the actual insurance plan or beneficiary information at the company that you were at. So let's say that you were working for company A and then you moved on to company B. Company A got bought out by company C. A lot of times we forget that stuff. Or if we had a life insurance policy and it's with company C and we eventually find out that company C was bought out by company F. Well, when it comes to get the claim and the payout, the rest of your family might not know that company F is the company that now has your insurance policy. So anytime that there's some sort of a change either in your company or an insurance company that has your policies, you want to make sure that you're updating all of this information. So summing it all up, make sure that you're reviewing your documents on some sort of regular basis with life changes. And then make sure you're following us. Make sure you subscribe to our blog, a podcast, everything that we're going to have coming here the rest of the year. And make sure you check us out on social media.